It's the year 2025, and something extraordinary is happening in Southeast Asia. A country that was once quietly known for its food and beaches is now making headlines as one of the most admired destinations in the world. From digital nomads to global investors, from students to retirees, everyone seems to have one place in mind: Malaysia. The question is, what changed? Why has Malaysia suddenly become the dream destination for millions of people across continents? This isn't just about tourism. It's about a country rewriting its story, and the world finally paying attention. In today's video, we dive deep into how Malaysia turned into one of the most talked about nations of 2025, a country that's blending technology, culture, affordability, and lifestyle better than almost anywhere else. This story isn't about hype, it's about transformation, because behind every headline, every viral travel vlog, and every relocation story lies something bigger: a nation that's quietly built its own version of the future while staying true to its roots. To understand Malaysia's global rise in 2025, we have to look back. For decades, Malaysia was admired in Asia but often overshadowed, either by Singapore's modern skyline or Thailand's tourism magnetism. It was known for its diversity, its harmony among Malays, Chinese, and Indians, and its breathtaking nature, but rarely seen as the dream country. Then came the pandemic years, the global reset. While much of the world was struggling with economic instability, Malaysia quietly stabilized its digital economy, invested in sustainable infrastructure, and started positioning itself as Asia's next innovation hub. It strengthened its healthcare system, expanded high-speed internet even into rural towns, and opened pathways for entrepreneurs and foreign talent through the Malaysia My Second Home program. What used to be a budget stop for travelers became a smart base for the future. And by 2023 and 2024, something started changing online. Stories of people moving to Malaysia went viral. A YouTuber from Germany calling it the perfect balance of East and West. A retiree from Japan saying it's the only place I can live comfortably without losing culture. Digital workers from Europe realizing they could live beachside in Langkawi with the same internet speed as Berlin, at a fraction of the cost. Malaysia was no longer just another tropical escape. It was a lifestyle, one that people started dreaming of. The real shift happened when Malaysia embraced what most countries ignored: quality of life as the new luxury. While other nations chased GDP numbers, Malaysia started improving how people feel living there. Kuala Lumpur's skyline began to tell a new story: the Merdeka 118 tower rising tall, the world's second tallest building, surrounded by green parks, urban gardens, and smart transport. Penang emerged as Southeast Asia's creative island, mixing tech startups, heritage art. Sabah and Sarawak took the lead in ecotourism, preserving rainforests while inviting travelers to experience sustainability in real time. Then came the digital nomad visa, and everything exploded. Remote workers from Europe, the Middle East, and North America started flooding in, sharing clips of street food, tropical sunsets, and modern co-working hubs with millions of followers. Suddenly, Malaysia wasn't just in travel guides, it was trending on every platform. And when foreign investors saw the government's long-term stability and tech ecosystem growth, Malaysia started attracting international projects, AI labs, clean energy startups, and digital finance firms. It became a magnet not because it was the cheapest, but because it was balanced, modern yet warm, advanced yet peaceful. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss our deep dives into the stories shaping our world. But there's something deeper happening behind all the numbers and trends. People are drawn to Malaysia because it offers something the modern world is losing: connection. It's in the street markets of Penang where strangers share a table over nasi lemak. It's in the multicultural festivals where different faiths celebrate side by side. It's in the easy smile of a taxi driver, the sound of evening prayers mixing with city traffic, the rhythm of life that never feels rushed yet never stands still. That emotional heartbeat is what sets Malaysia apart. Progress here doesn't erase culture, it protects it. Technology doesn't isolate people, it empowers them. And modernity doesn't mean forgetting who you are, it means carrying your roots forward with pride. By 2025, the world has started to notice that Malaysia represents something rare. Balance. By 2025, the world has started to notice that Malaysia represents something rare: balance. A balance between growth and peace, ambition and humility, old and new. That's why people don't just want to visit Malaysia, they dream of living its way of life. Because Malaysia isn't just progressing, it's inspiring. It shows that a nation can be modern without losing its soul. And that, more than anything else, is the reason everyone dreams of Malaysia in 2025. As night falls over Kuala Lumpur, the skyline glows, not just from buildings, but from stories. Stories of people who came for a visit and stayed for a lifetime. Stories of locals who watched their homeland rise and finally get the respect it deserves. Stories that whisper the same truth: Malaysia isn't just a place to dream about, it's a place where dreams actually feel safe to come true. Kuala Lumpur at night tells another story, one of ambition without arrogance. The Merdeka 118 tower stretches into the clouds, but beneath it, families sit on park benches eating durian, kids running around fountains that glow blue under the skyline. In that contrast lies Malaysia's quiet power, the ability to reach the sky and still keep your feet in the grass. The ability to modernize without losing humility. And it's not just the locals who feel it. Foreigners who once came for a few months now call it home. They speak of safety, of how they can walk freely at midnight through the Bukit Bintang lights. They talk about kindness, of neighbors who bring food when you're sick, of taxi drivers who tell stories instead of prices. They talk about calm, how even the busiest cities here feel human, not mechanical. Economists call it an emerging powerhouse. Travelers call it paradise. But those who truly know Malaysia just call it balance. And that balance is everything the modern world has been trying to find, a middle ground between technology and touch, growth and gratitude, wealth and well-being. While much of the planet races toward profit, Malaysia quietly reminds everyone that happiness doesn't come from speed, it comes from harmony. As 2025 unfolds, more nations are looking toward Malaysia not just for tourism, but for lessons. Urban planners study its green city models. Digital developers study its inclusive innovation. Sociologists study its peaceful coexistence. Because this country, once underestimated, now stands as living proof that diversity can be strength, that tradition and progress can share the same heartbeat. So when they say everyone dreams of Malaysia in 2025, maybe it's not just because of what it looks like, but because of what it represents. A reminder that the good life isn't gone. It's just waiting, right here. This is Venture Vibes, telling the stories of places that remind us what truly matters. And as we leave Malaysia tonight, remember this: sometimes the world's greatest dream isn't to escape, it's to arrive somewhere that finally feels like home.